Hello again, guys. Thank you for joining me once again for the Supernatural specials that I am watching on this soft hiatus of We Watch Winchester. I hope you guys are surviving and doing well, and after all of this, I am very eager to get completely back to normal, but you know, it's what it is. In the meantime, thank you for sticking it out with me and hanging out with me over these past few weeks. Just know, good news, we are, after today, officially at the halfway point of this little soft hiatus, and Missy is so excited to be back, and let's get to it. All right, and today we are going to take a closer look into Dream a Little Dream of Me. Let's watch.
Dean's dream was he was basically going to be dreaming in a horror movie. That he was going to wake up and the film stock was going to kind of be 80s. And the original version, like this girl in leg warmers was going to run up and be like, oh my God, and then help me. And then, you know, Jason was going to come out and he was going to have the machete and the hockey mask.
What?
And the whole thing. And we found out, I think about 3 days before shooting, that the movie studio that shall remain nameless thought they had the rights to the character, and it turns out they didn't.
Oh my God, that's constantly
they said, sorry, we don't have the rights after all. And we said, we're 3 days away from shooting. Like, we've made our Jason. Like, it's perfect.
Oh my
We made this perfect
gosh.
facsimile. I made everyone watch Friday the 13th Part 4. And, you know, and they're like, sorry. And they kind of shrug. And we're like, we don't even know what to do. And then we had this notion that if, you know, Sam's dream, and illogical, I don't think he like really loves Bella or anything, but I think if Sam's dream is just a sex dream about Bella, and that Sam underneath his like really nice guy exterior is basically a horn dog. So he's like horny, and so he dreamt about, you know, whatever girl is basically passing through the episode. So we like the idea that Dean being the opposite of that we said, well, you know, if Dean's got a secret, Dean's secret is he wants a really normal family. And then we started thinking about the characters from The Kids Are All Right. And we wrote a scene that, you know, while isn't as maybe funny or surprising as Jason coming out, was more illuminating the character. So in a way, I'm actually happier that that happened. And it's kind of really heartbreaking for me. Like, it wasn't a funny scene, but it became really heartbreaking. We have this character who is telling Dean, like, let's go to, like, you know, let's have this picnic and go pick up Ben from baseball. And it's just like the most suburban minivan life ever. And like, that's what he wants. And his embarrassment that Sam is watching it. You get the sense he's had this dream all the time, and
wow,
he's, like, embarrassed. And,
I didn't even catch that.
It just really kind of breaks your heart.
I mean, that was the embarrassment part,
sort of
but I guess that makes sense.
Episode, and then, you know, as a second part, you know, we have this big scene where Dean confronts himself. This was like the big episode for us, that we're like, Dean has this really big turning point. Where he basically learns a little self-esteem. I mean, if we had an arc for Dean this season, it would be, you know, Dean begins the season with such really crappy view of his own self-worth, and that he ends the season with more self-respect. Like, he's really matured that way. And we spoke a lot about where did this begin, and where did this come from Dean? And the answer was, it came from his dad. I mean, it's his dad that he is the reason he was the way he was. And so in the initial conception, we said, this is the episode we bring back Jeffrey D. Morgan.
Yep.
And he comes into a room, and waiting there is Dad. And Dad starts like browbeating him. And that was our first version. But we checked, and Jeffrey was unavailable because he was for Watchmen, and he's a definitely busy guy, and so we couldn't have him. So we're like, okay, so then what do we do? And then we realized that the way to do it was the junkyard scene from Superman 3, where it's like Dean on Dean. And if you see, like, it's Dean on Dean, but the conversation's still about Dad, which is like the original holdover. Like, it's really about his emotion from Dad, but the only way to make sense would be sort of insecure, awful, angsty Dean talking to our hero Dean, and it's sort of like the bad Dean symbolizes everything that Dean hates about himself. He finally gets to kill him. And so it worked out, and Jensen made the scene. I mean, you know, he just so rocked it, and like, you can so tell. I mean, if you look, he's playing different facets of the same character.
Yeah.
And at any given moment, you know which one's which.
It's always
even
impressive
though they're played by the same guy.
When they do that.
That's no easy feat, and one of my favorite parts of the episode for sure.
That was cool.
I think the episode was extremely strong, so I like that they made the changes that they made. But I have to be honest, the idea that they were going to have legitimate licensed Jason in this series, I would have died. I would have lost my mind. I love slasher movies, and in my opinion, like Friday the 13th and Scream are like the two top ones. I do also appreciate Sleepaway Camp, even though it's a ripoff of Friday the 13th. But yeah, I love the video game Friday the 13th. I have a board game called Last Friday. I would have gone nuts. It's unfortunate the licensing is still kind of up in the air. And it's so interesting that it even affected this show. But yeah, that would have been insane. And it's interesting that they went with Jason and not someone else that I don't care for, Freddy Krueger. It looks like they didn't even go that route anyway. And they went with a completely less funny, but also stronger written scene or scenes to use for this. It's really interesting because I didn't fully understand what was happening in those moments when I was watching them initially. And I remember thinking, like, why is Sam in Dean's world exactly? Like, what is this? Why is he in this? And what does this mean? But then that makes total sense. And yeah, the writing on this show is so freaking good. And I don't know, like, there's very few shows like this that do the research and take the time to make it this good. And this show is just, I know that it's daunting that I have so many seasons ahead of me. And, you know, when we have delays like what's going on in the world right now, it doesn't help. But I will say that it's nice that we have a long way to go because I'm looking forward to everything that's coming my way. Because everything that keeps coming is better and better and better. So, yeah, I'm stoked. And this was a reaction to scene specifics, Dream a Little Dream, not of me. And it was indeed super naturally.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us. Are you okay?
No, it's in my face. Sorry. We're in your face now to tell you to like, subscribe, and check us out. Stay notified. Click the bell.
And
check us out on Patreon.
Yeah, there's a link there
too.
where we'll get in your face even more.
Yeah.